What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about what it takes to become a top wholesaler in the real estate industry. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Eric Schmidt. I've been in real estate the past 10 years. I've done a little over 60 million in transactions in this wholesale space. So let's dive into it. So one of the biggest things to becoming a top wholesaler is going to boil down to how good you are at spotting an opportunity. Now, when I'm having the initial phone call, right? Maybe it's a cold call off of a list that I pulled. Maybe it's a property on Zillow and I'm just giving them a buzz. When I get off of that initial phone call, I like to answer 3 questions for myself. So the first question I ask myself is, based on that previous conversation, do I believe there's a potential opportunity? You know, they told me about their situation, the condition, what they want, maybe what they owe on the mortgage, right? Like, based on all the data, all that information that I collected off of that first phone call, do I believe there may be an opportunity here? Yes or no? If it's yes, it brings me to my next question, which is, what is the opportunity, right? Is it a opportunity for maybe a wholesale deal, a listing for an agent, an ovation, a sub to, a seller finance? There's so many types of deals that could be put together, right? So based on that phone call, okay, yeah, there might be an opportunity, but now what is the opportunity? What type of deal do I think could be possibly done here? And then the third piece is, when is the opportunity, right? So yeah, I think there's something. I think it could be a wholesale deal. Now, when is the opportunity? Is this something that could be done now? Or is the situation perfect, but they're just not ready yet? They're going to need maybe a couple weeks, couple months, something like that. So I always answer these 3 questions, guys. It always boils down to, do I believe there's an opportunity? What is the opportunity? And when is the opportunity? Now, this is huge because most wholesalers are chasing dead leads. I'll tell you a story quick. One thing that I do, a lot of you guys don't know this, I go in and actually I build companies, right? I had a big company down here in Tampa, all in office, and I help people do that either in a virtual model or replicate building an in-office model. And so I was working with these group of guys, and they were hiring acquisitions. They got guys working for them, and they had these 2 guys that had full pipelines. They're doing 40 plus follow-ups every single day, doing lead generation, and it was like weeks of not actually getting a contract. And so, I went in there to explore, like, all right, something's wrong. What's actually going on here? And what I was able to realize is, they're doing lead generation. They got full pipelines, but all of these leads, they're literally garbage. Like, there is no opportunity. Is there an opportunity? The answer was no for over 90% of those leads. So what I'm getting at, guys, is you could be doing lead generation. We could have leads in the pipeline. And just because they want to sell the house, you think there's an opportunity, and that is not the case. When you're in this wholesale space and you're doing lead generation, it is more than just having somebody that has their hand up saying, yeah, I want to sell my house. That doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily chase them. I need to vet them, right? I need to have that initial phone call and feel out the situation. Is there motivation? Is there pain? What's going on? What's the condition of the home? What's the timeline? And between the full picture, getting the full picture, I'll then determine if this is worth pursuing or not. Now, if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. Wholesale deals are only done with one of 2 types of situations. Either the seller is in a distressed situation, right? So there's some pain attached. They're in pre-foreclosure. They need money for medical expenses. They can't afford the home. Like something where it's like, I need to get rid of this quick. I need money fast, right? So there's pain there. Or there's no pain, but the property is so distressed that it can only be sold to an investor, right? So a family cannot move in it. It needs to be fully updated. It needs a full rehab, right? Only an investor is geared to buying something like that. So either the home's extremely beat up, can only be sold to an investor, or the seller has a lot of pain attached to them, right? So that's going to be a huge piece. You need to determine, is there one of those 2 things here, maybe both? If not, the likelihood of a deal going through is going to be slim to none. So again, the top wholesaler, what it's really boiling down to is how fast can you spot an opportunity? All right, so now I want to give you guys a huge tip, something you guys could actually implement to weigh out fast if there's an opportunity worth pursuing or not, right? Deal or no deal, yes or no, chase it or dead the lead. So this little strategy, it's really only going to work when you're dealing with on-market deals, right? You're calling real estate agents, but it goes like this. So what you're going to do is, as you're having that conversation with the agent, we're going to slide in 2 questions, right? One is we're going to ask them for their opinion on the after repair value. So, hey, John, what do you think this thing's probably worth all fixed up? Now, the second thing we're going to ask them is for their opinion or what everybody else has been saying is going to cost to update the property. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? So we ask for the after repair value, their opinion. We ask for their opinion or others' opinions that they've heard for the updates of the property. And between those two, then we could actually calculate and run our numbers and present the offer. Now, it's going to be a ballpark offer, right? So, if you could be quick, do it on the phone with them. All right, so you think the ARV is $200,000 and everybody's saying it's $60,000 in updates. With that math, John, I mean, I'm probably between like 170, 180. Now, the big thing is, it's again boiling down to spotting the opportunity. Is this worth pursuing or not? That is going to be determined off of their response after I give them that number, right? So if I say, John, we're between probably 170, 180, and he's like, yeah, absolutely not, then I just save myself a ton of time. I didn't have to go run the numbers, then call him back to present the offer. I save myself, hours, if not days, literally, of work just trying to chase a lead. So if I call an agent up, they give me the ARV, they give me the updates, I run the numbers softly. I'm like, hey, based on what you're telling me, these numbers, I'm probably between 170, 180. It's their response that allows me to determine if this is going to be worth pursuing, right? They gave me the ARV, they gave me the updates, run the numbers. Hey, we're in this 170, 180 range. What do you think? Yeah, absolutely not. Seller's not going to take that. We turn down offers way higher than yours, and I just save myself a ton of time, right? You a normal wholesaler, you spend, 10, 15 minutes comping a property out? I didn't have to comp out any property, and I just saved myself all that time. Talk about also, too, right? I comp it out. Then I try and call them back. Then it's, all right, yeah, let me call the seller. And, you're going back and forth for a few days just to try and get an answer. The agent probably has a good idea, what the seller would and wouldn't take, right? So we want to try and flush it out. We want to try and determine as fast as possible, deal or no deal, is this worth pursuing or not? Now, an agent, they could be kind of vanilla about it. You might be like, yeah, I'm between 170, 180. They're like, all right, yeah, just write it up. Well, I don't really know if this is still worth pursuing, if the seller would take it or wouldn't, right? So ask a further challenging question. You could say something like, if they're like, yeah, write it up, Eric, I'd ask them, what do you think the seller's going to say? What are the odds the seller takes this deal? Do you think you can get this deal done for me, right? And then probably based off of their response from those questions, one of those, I'll have a better understanding like, hey, yeah, there might be something here, right? If I tell them, hey, do you think you can get this done? Or do you think the seller would accept that offer? Yeah, I think they might. I think you got a good shot. Great, worth pursuing. But if I ask him that further question, hey, you think the seller would take this? Probably not. We've turned down offers higher than yours. All right, dead the lead. I'm wasting my time. And you could further validate through the questions, right? Agent, am I wasting my time then by presenting this? Yeah, probably. Wasting your time, right? So, the big thing, it just, again, boils down to deal or no deal. Is this an opportunity? Is there an opportunity? What is the opportunity? When is the opportunity? Getting good at spotting that. But if you guys implement this tip, you guys ask them for the ARV, you ask them for their opinion on the updates. Be conservative with those, run the numbers, and present the offer. Listen to how they respond and ask them how they feel about it, and then base if it's worth pursuing it or not off of that. This is really what it's going to come down to as far as how many deals you're going to be doing every single month. How effective and how efficient are you at lead generation, weighing out deal or no deal? So guys, I hope this all helped. If you guys have any other comments though, questions, anything like that, drop them down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.